Hello, sparkling entrepreneur. Welcome to the Sparkling Hippie channel. I am so glad you found me. My name's Haley Hoover. I'm a success coach and intuitive artist. I help spiritual entrepreneurs find next level success in their business with fun, fulfillment, and flow. So if that's your vibe, you're definitely in the right spot. Please, if you enjoy the show, be sure and like and subscribe so that you can get more of this juicy goodness. All right, let's jump in. So go ahead and drop in the chat if you're joining us live or watching the replay. And tell me how your Tuesday's going so far. I've already heard from a few people, good and bad, both. So I'm curious how your Tuesday's going, if anyone's feeling the solar eclipse energy or if things are going great. So go ahead and share it in the chat. I'd love to hear from you. I'm off to, I would say, a pretty good start. Had a really nice quiet time this morning, journaling, reading, praying. It was very good. So that's always a great way to start your day. Also, I was late to my own live, just by a couple minutes, because I got really in the flow of writing the exact topic that we're going to be talking about today. So I'm pretty excited to talk about this, and I obviously have a lot to say, because I kind of lost track of time. So definitely, if you have questions or comments as I'm going along, drop those in the chat. I'm happy to answer them live or answer them inside the group. Let's jump in. So this is actually, turns out, I'm pretty passionate about this topic. I've never done a live or training on this topic, but this is something I talk about with my one-on-one clients pretty much every session. It's a very common topic. So I thought it would be good to go live about it here. And secret sauce, I'm actually working on a much larger project. And this is one tiny piece of that larger project. So let's dive in. Who do you serve? I was thinking about when I wrote that title, that song, Who Do You Love? It's a rap song. I'm not going to rap. And so anyway, that's kind of my inspiration for the title. Who do you serve? So let's talk about why it's important to have an ideal client. Because the first thing I hear out of everyone's mouth, whether they're writing a book or launching their business or even growing their business, usually like the first 3 years of business, I hear a lot of people, oh, everyone, I want to change the world. And first of all, I want to applaud you for being so heart-centered that you want to change everyone. I commend that and I love that. I used to get really frustrated when my coaches would ask me who my ideal client was and they wouldn't let me say everyone. It really flustered me because I'm like, well, Marie Forleo serves everyone and Gabby Bernstein serves everyone. But if you really look at it, they're really not serving everyone. They're serving a very niche group of people, and they've actually grown that niche group of people to a very big audience. Like, it might be millions of people, but we have 7 billion people on the planet. So they're still really niched. You still catch people who are, Gabby Bernstein, for example, still only works with spiritually awakening women, right? She's not attracting some different variations in there, but for the most part, she's attracting someone who is spiritually seeking and into new age spirituality, right? She's not attracting like hardcore atheists and people who are only involved in studying ergonomics and don't have a lot to think about spiritually, and they're not wanting to really blossom into that side of themselves. It's not on their radar. So think about all the people that she's not attracting, and you can understand why even these people, even these wildly successful people, even Oprah is not for everyone. I know plenty of people who don't like Oprah, don't listen to her stuff, don't want to be a part of it. So first of all, throw that excuse out, because that used to be my excuse. Well, they attract everyone. They really don't. So if you look at it through the lens of marketing, public relations, advertising, you can really start to see how they don't serve everyone. They serve a specific client base, but they've grown their business so much that that client base is really very, not broad, but it's deep, right? There's a lot of people within that niche. So I want to share with you a little story about why this is important. So I'm actually on year 4 of my business, and I tried the everybody thing. Spoiler alert, it does not work. It just doesn't. And so I have niche down. It took me, I would say by year 2, I started niching down a little bit more on year 3, and this year on year 4, I'm niching down even more. And in my experience, the more I niche down, the more powerful my ability to attract clients is. Not only that, but my ability to attract the right clients becomes stronger the more I niche down. So, for example, I have this year, last 24 months or last 12 months, I've had some really awesome opportunities. I've worked with some Fortune 500 companies. I've had clients that were just lit my soul up. They were so fun to work with. And I've done some amazing partnerships with some local businesses that have just been fantastic. So one of those partnerships was just a couple weeks ago. And it was a very different group of people that I was presenting to. Usually I really niche myself down to spiritual, ambitious entrepreneurs who are growing their business, ready to go to the next step. That alone is a niche I made from 2020 to 2021. Like, I realized that ambition is one of the biggest things I look for with a client. In fact, I actually wrote out a list of requirements that I have for people if they want to work with me. And one of the biggest things is being ambitious and coachable. And if I feel like they are not that, I don't work with them. And that I'll get into later on. That is a way of telling God, the universe, more of what you want so you can attract more of what you want. So we'll talk about that in a minute. But let's bring it back to, I'm presenting to this group. It was actually shop, right? It's not online. They had all been in business like 20, 30 years. They were all actually in retirement age or just past. And I went in there and I was like, I'm still going to just give them the full Hailey Hoover experience. We're going to do visualization, and we're going to talk about energy, and we're going to, feel in our bodies where we're holding ourselves back for more success. And it took me all of about 5 minutes to realize that that was my entirely wrong audience. They did not speak the same language I spoke, and they were kind and respectful, don't get me wrong, but I literally could not wait for the Zoom meeting to be over, and it only lasted like 30 minutes, because it felt like I was talking to a wall. They didn't speak the same language I spoke. They didn't have the same goals or principles or values as I had. They actually just took this experience that I've led hundreds of people through. A complaining fest about how hard it was to open their businesses during COVID, and it had nothing to do with anything I was talking or teaching. They weren't my right audience. That's not to say I don't bless them, I don't wish them all the best of luck, but I'm not going to go out and keep pursuing that client avatar because it was so wrong. There was like flatline, like energetically in your body, when it's a yes, you get excited, right? Everyone's different. I feel like tingly, I feel light, I'm just like electric. When it's a hard no, my body is flat, just like no excitement, no curiosity. And that's how this felt. So keep that in mind when you're looking for your ideal client. as you're like the first few years of business, right? You're launching, you're growing, you're trying out. You should be doing practice clients. If you're not, you definitely need to have a solid amount of practice clients under your belt. Practice clients tell you a lot about your ideal client. Also, actual paid clients. Paid clients, if you're not getting paid clients, another idea is bartering, like trading with other businesses, like some sessions in exchange for whatever they sell, crystal jewelry or whatever. But as you're doing any kind of coaching session, and this applies not just to coaches, but you know, a lot of you are Reiki practitioners and yoga instructors and things like that. And as you're going about helping different people, serving different people, notice in your body what type of person really makes you feel excited and alive, and what type of person working with them just feels flat. And you may be surprised at who feels exciting and who feels flat. It's not always what you think. So that being said, why wouldn't you show up to work every day working with the people who bring you alive, who make you tingle, who feel amazing and exciting? Okay. So I've got a couple of points here. So first of all, when we talk about niching down, and you say you want to help everyone, actually, if we were to dig around and uncover it a little more, it probably comes from a scarcity mindset, a mindset belief that there's not enough people in one niche for you to pay your bills and book a full schedule of clients or customers. Okay. So your belief is that if I don't say everyone and leave it really big and broad and tell Facebook ads that I'll work with anyone from age 12 to 92, that you're not going to get anyone. You're not going to get the right people. When in fact, the opposite is true. So again, we have 7 billion people on the planet. You could attract 1 million of them, but only if you're speaking to the right person in the right way. And that has to be genuinely coming from your heart and genuinely affecting their heart. So I'm not going to talk about how we attract them. That'll be a different one. But you gotta get comfortable here. But you're actually not serving anyone when you say, I want to write a book for everyone, or I want to have a business that helps everyone. You're really not serving anyone because you're wasting everyone's time. So if you are, let's say you're scrolling Instagram and an ad pops up, and let's say it's, what are we selling here? The best pillow for everyone. Are you going to click on that? Maybe. I'm actually a little interested. Okay, it's a carousel. So you start swiping, and it's like saying how this pillow is great for everyone just because it's the best pillow in the world. Okay, that's getting a click twice as fast because you're like, hey, I'm a side sleeper. I need a side sleeper pillow. The everyone one, well, that's fine, but I don't sleep on my back, so why would I buy that? So you're actually you're not serving people as powerfully as you could. So say you're a yoga instructor and you're targeting everyone, but then the people who are coming to your classes aren't totally engaged, they're not committed, they're not showing up week after week, they don't really feel excited to be there, and even when they do come, they don't thank you afterwards, they don't hang around, they leave as fast as they can. That's because it's not in your best interest to attract them, and it's not in their best interest to be attracted by you. Whereas if you say, hey, I want to work with busy moms who only have 30 minutes for a yoga session, I'm going to put a daycare in the corner, girl, you will book out. Because you're attracting a very specific people type. They're going to want to stay and hang out. They're going to want to connect with the other participants. They're not going to want to miss a class because this is now their jam, their social time, right? So think about that, and I'm using physical examples, but the same is infinitely more true online, because online we can reach people around the globe in seconds. So it's actually going to give you more leverage and the ability to go faster, further, if you niche down. I'm not going to get into SEO today, but SEO is all about focused, niche, right? So I'm going to leave you with a couple of questions. I want you to ask yourself, who do you get most excited to serve? And a coach of mine asked me this next question, and it really transformed my business by just making a micro shift in who I serve. And she said, who can you serve the most powerfully for the least amount of effort? Are you like pushing the ball uphill, trying to get people to come into your program? You're trying to convince them, when maybe you could shift towards a different audience, and those people may come flying in, right? It may make all the difference to you. So think about who you can serve the most powerfully for the least amount of effort, right? So convincing a 300-pound overweight guy that he needs yoga is going to be a lot harder than telling an active, fit mom that your yoga class is awesome for moms with young children. Voice is going up. So journal around these questions, and I'll try to drop them in the chat. But also I want you to think about this idea of scarcity mindset. Is your fear of niching down coming from scarcity? And you're probably your ego's gonna say, no, I just want to help everyone. But when you tell the universe everyone, you're gonna get everyone. And I've got to tell you, as time goes on, you'll experience clients that don't bring you joy. I've actually had multiple clients that left me. They hurt my feelings. They walked over my boundaries. My boyfriend can tell you that he has seen that many times from clients who paid me well, but that's not always the point, right? Why not have clients who pay you well and light you up and give you a joy to get out of bed and work with them? Like, you can't wait, and they sign up easily, and they're a high yes no matter what. Think about who that would be. And so just to give you an idea, traditional advertising talks about demographics. And so I see a lot of certifications and courses and classes, they have you name the demographics of your ideal client. So that, what I mean by demographics is like age, where they live, ethnicity, sex. So those can be important, but what I really would rather you focus on as a spiritual entrepreneur is first of all, the core values of your ideal client, and then also their energy and their essence. So for me, a lot of times when I'm in discovery calls or whatever, if the energy isn't there, then it's a no for me. And they may like tick all the boxes on paper, demographics, right? But if they are not like ambitious, willing to show up, willing to be coached, ready to get their butt kicked, they're not my ideal client. I'm not going to enjoy coaching them. So maybe that doesn't mean that that's your ideal client, right? So think about what the energy, the characteristics of your ideal client is. And this is really going to come as you're practicing, as you're working with different people types, as you're trying different things, throwing that spaghetti against the wall, like I always talk about. But asking yourself, who do I feel most excited to work with? Who would be the most fun to work with? And what do they like? Are they very closed-minded? Are they very open-minded? Are they very grounded? Or are they very airy-fairy? So there's a lot of variation there, but it's actually going to change your experience quite a bit, and it's actually going to affect your bottom line quite a bit, honestly, at the end of the day. So what comes up for you? I would love to see you drop in the chat just kind of some of your thoughts on what your ideal client would look like. Maybe you're still feeling a lot of resistance towards this letting go of like everyone being your ideal client. share it in the chat. That's what I'm here for. I'm a coach. You're not going to offend me. I'm here to kind of question you and push you around a little bit, right? Not in a bad way, but just to help you get to the next level. Sometimes you need to be challenged. So I'm going to leave you with that. I hope this was helpful, and I look forward to talking with you more soon. Thank you so much for watching today's episode. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please leave me a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel if you'd like to see more. Also, if you're active on the gram, be sure and give me a shout out at The Sparkling Hippie. And otherwise, we will see you next time.